Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be Holding Back Never Ends Well. Got an email here from a viewer. And what I teach in my book, and I think this is important to understand, is that I basically take a guy from an absolute novice and beginner with interacting with women, creating attraction, starting conversations, to the point where by the end of the book, when he gets to the place where I got to, that I describe by the end of my book, you literally will be able to make eye contact with somebody and go up and start a conversation, and you won't hold back. It's because every living cell in your body will just be like beaming with all kinds of energy when you meet a girl and you lock eyes and you just fucking know. You know when you know. It's the same kind of energy and feeling you meet like when you met your best friend and you just started hanging out. You had a lot in common and you just had similar hobbies, similar interests, and you just always had a good time together. And that it works the same way with women. It's just that I'd say the majority of people in our society, they're not patient enough, and they don't, when the chemistry is really not there, they try to make more out of it than there really is, and they stay or they get into relationships that aren't what they really want them to be because they don't have the guts or the skills to go out and attract a really great person on their own. And the thing you got to remember is, if you want a relationship with somebody, all you need is one really great, awesome person. And the way you should look at it is, until you meet that really great, awesome person, every single person of the opposite sex that you meet in between now and when that magical moment happens, they're there to prepare you. They're there to help you grow and become more. I mean, every human interaction that we have in life, that person has a gift for you and you have a gift for them. Doesn't mean you're going to be in their life forever and ever. Maybe it just may be somebody with a smile and a good story at the coffee shop that you talk to for 3 minutes and they just totally changed your attitude and your day, and you never see that person again. Every person has a gift, and that's the way you should look at it. And so when you get to the place where I talk about my book, it's about not holding back. It's about not having any fear. And when you meet the person that you know in your heart of hearts is the right person, there's no doubt, because you can see it in her eyes and she can see it in yours. There's a mutual connection there that you could get 100 people watching the two of you interact, and they could see that there's some chemistry happening. There's a magnetic, invisible connection between those two people. And it's a beautiful thing to watch. It's even more beautiful thing to be a person that's in that moment experiencing it. I've had those kinds of moments numerous times over the course of my life. And I tell you, it's like they're worth the wait. They really are. It's really, because when you get to that place where you're no longer holding back, you're no longer full of fear, you meet them, you just easily, effortlessly set the date with them. Because there's no doubt in your mind that this is exactly the person you've been waiting for. And there's also no doubt in your mind that they're going to say yes just by the way that they're looking at you and interacting with you, because it's written all over them. To me, those moments are divinely orchestrated. You get a goosebump. It's like the hairs stand up in the back of your neck. You just realize that, and like the more you talk to that person, the more you realize they are exactly everything that you've been looking for. Like maybe they got the similar interests, they eat the same way, they have the same outlook on life. It's just amazing when those moments happen. It's where the juice of life is, in my opinion. So I get this email here from this viewer, and he says, there's been this girl that I've liked for over a year now. It's like, you should never be into a girl and never ask her out for a whole year. That's insane. He says, over that year, she's dated people. I have dated people, and we never had the opportunity to get together. Okay, so you both were taken, in essence. He says, during this last time, we often flirted and would grab a drink, and there was a definite interest level. I never pushed it, though. He says, well, she had been contacting me for weeks, and I was always too busy to spend any time with her, and then I find out she's moving away. She starts pressing me to get together to say goodbye before she leaves. We do, and we have a great night together and just hanging out talking. I decide to call it a night and bail. Well, I would have you should have banged her on the spot, dude. It's obvious she wanted you. He says, she then chases me out the door and kisses me. He's like, hello, dude. Hello, McFly. He says, I was shocked. I'm not. As much as I wanted that, I knew she was leaving and that it wouldn't be good. Well, why not, dude? I had a buddy of mine. He's actually the brother of one of the girls that I wrote about in my book, and he's a great guy. I love him to death, and he's funny as fuck. And he's pretty good with women too. And that was one of the things that was great about dating her. She had 3 brothers, and all 3 of her brothers had a pretty good handle on interacting with women, and they were fucking. I learned so much from that family and from my that particular girlfriend. But one of the things that he said, we were out having some beers one night, and we were talking about a girl, and it was kind of a similar situation. She just threw herself at him, and his attitude was like, hey, if the good Lord's willing to give it, I'm willing to take it. And that should be your attitude, dude. She wants you, and it's like you're just running out the door like a little girl, man. Come on. He says, we proceeded to spend nearly every day over the next couple of weeks together and became very close, so much that she made me promise to visit her. I was hooked. Then she left. We spoke often on the phone for the first week. She was gone, and it was usually her initiating the conversation. Then all of a sudden the dynamic changed, and she started treating me differently. She knew that I already had a plane ticket, as it was our intention to spend Thanksgiving together. I arrived the day before Thanksgiving and was met with a cold hug only. The dynamic never seemed to shift to a positive one. I slept next to her, and she didn't want me to touch her. I couldn't lay next to this girl who I had allowed myself to like and not touch her in the least. That's what happens. I say this all the time. When you keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and the girl basically throws herself at you like this, you communicate you have no confidence as a man, and that you don't know what you're doing, and you don't know how to interact with a woman romantically. So she starts to back away and lose interest because you're missing all of these great opportunities to hook up, because it's like she wants to hook up and you're trying to be friend zone because you think you got to follow some kind of societal routine that you were taught. He says, my trip was to last more than 5 days. He says, I left Thanksgiving morning and told her that I'm sorry. Apparently I came for the wrong reasons, and I couldn't simply lay next to her for 4 more nights and feel so far away from her. I told her goodbye and I left. I contacted her the day after to apologize for leaving abruptly. It's like, why, dude? And hope that she could understand. This is the only contact we have had since then, 2 days ago. It's killing me. She seemed like such a great person, but holy shit, is she full of mean. There are some other significant details, but I will wait for your response. Well, like the title of the video says, holding back never ends well. You liked this girl, you wanted her, she gave herself to you on a silver platter, and then you danced around in circles and left. And instead of making a move on her, and like I said, I mean, this is like you said, it's been going on for a year, and it's like that's why she's treating you this way. Eventually, she got to the point where she realized that you had no confidence to make a move, and you just didn't get it. You don't understand how attraction works, and that's why she ditched you. And so, I mean, what's done is done. So if I were you, there's nothing to do. Walk away, never look back. You fucked up. That's pretty much the bottom line. And so, by the time you got there, she was a cold fish. And so I would encourage you to read my book, because all the light bulbs, when you read my book, will start going off in your head. You'll be going, oh, I totally get where I went wrong. And so you don't need to write to me again and tell me more about this particular story, because it really doesn't matter. The fact is, you held back on your interest, and you acted unnatural around her. That's the problem. She could tell you wanted her, but you weren't acting upon that, and therefore it created awkward moments and an awkward situation, and she eventually gave up on you and realized that you're not the dude that she thought you were. So, lick your wounds and just chalk it up to experience, and realize the next time you're in a situation like that with a girl, you got to make the move, and you can't act like Mr. Friend and Mr. Nice Guy, like, oh, she's kissing me, I gotta run, I gotta leave. It's like, no, dude, it's like, seduce, let her. I mean, she wants you to seduce her, and she's making it so fucking easy for you. It's just, it's a shame, but hey, you live and learn, So if you have a question you want to ask me, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab on the left-hand side of your screen, and send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max, and just give me several days to get back to you with a response. If you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. You can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which will be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, On my website, underneath the email sign-up box is a box that has a link that will take you right to the Amazon Kindle download page. Once you get there, if you don't have a Kindle device, just download one of their free e-reader apps for whatever electronic device you want to read it on. And if you appreciate the value of the information I offer in these video newsletters, the articles on my website, and my ebook, you can show your appreciation right now by going to my website, and will be a toolbar at the bottom of your screen. Click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information. And I will talk to you soon.